Hi, welcome to Demo Garage. I'm Steven, and in this episode I'll be completing the project of recovering the upper dash, the top dash. This is part 2 in that series, and I'm very pleased how it turned out. I'm shooting this video after the fact because I realized I don't have an opener for this video, but that gives me an opportunity to vent a little bit. Back in late October, early November, my TVR let me down and left me stranded. I had to bring her home on a flatbed, and it was a pretty easy electrical issue. But I thought, well, I've got a new wiring harness. This is maybe the time to install that. So I started doing that, and then I thought, well, there's a lot of these taillights and wiring, would sure make it a lot easier if I remove this back glass. And I thought, well, I've got a new seal for the back. I'm gonna do that, save my back a lot of heartache. And so I removed the glass. And then everything just started snowballing on me. I thought, well, I've got the glass out. I've got a new fuel tank. I know that the original owner had repaired the original tank, so I had purchased another one. This has got to be the time to replace the fuel tank, right? So I did that. And then I thought, well, I've got a new seal for the front windshield. So I've got the back one out. So I pull the front windshield out, and then I see the condition of the upper dash. Well, can't leave well enough alone, so I've got to replace the padding on the upper dash, the vinyl on the upper dash. And I'm happy I did that. Looks really good, but that's delaying me actually using the vehicle. So I've got a new seal on the front windshield, and then I'm reminded, well, I've got the front windshield out, I've got the back glass out. Car came with a new headliner, so I'm installing a new headliner. So while this video is about completing the dash recover, you can see behind me that I'm well on my way to putting in a new headliner. And then following the completion of the headliner, I can put the glass back in. I've got new door seals, new windshield, new back glass seals, and this car is going to be back on the road, and I'm going to be enjoying it for spring. So join me while I show you the second part of recovering the dash. Okay, so here's the next step in recovering my dash. As you remember from an earlier clip, I've got this thing covered in foam, and I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. It's been, for me, a month or more since I've made any progress in this video. But anyway, so I've done and I've added a thin tape line here. And that's where I'm intending to have my French seam. And then I've decided to try and do this in 2 pieces and really test my sewing skills. But that allowed me to make a couple of patterns. And I've got one pattern here. And so this is kind of what I'm hoping. I'll take this off and I'll trace this onto the vinyl. And right now there's no seam allowance on this piece. This is obviously the top piece. So those two sewn together with a French seam are what I'm hoping to cover this panel with. Crossing my fingers that this works. I haven't tried anything like this before. We shall see. I'll bring it back. Okay, so I got the first one cut, moved into the yoga studio. I highly recommend that you have a yoga studio because it makes for a wonderful flat surface. Actually, I feel like I'm lofting a boat. Anyway, the vinyl is now cut, and I've got the seam allowances, and on this lower side and then on the back side, material left over for gluing around the fiberglass edge. So one done, next one to go. Okay, so I've got the 2 patterns cut out. like I said, leaving myself some seam allowance, and then the idea is to try and pin this together with the indicator marks lined up, and then this will be sewn inside out. And well, maybe I'll bust out the sewing machine and set it up, and then I'll bring it back, describe my effort. I think I might try a little bit of practice on some spare material, see what I'm getting myself into here. So I'll bring it back. Okay, so I've got the sewing machine out, and I've done a couple of lines here trying to get the tension right for the top and back. And so now this is going to be my example piece that I'm going to attempt to do that French seam. So the first step is I've got the two pieces together. I've got a line I'm going to try and follow, and I've got the back side facing out. So let me run a straight stitch like I've done here along that white line, and I'll bring it back. Okay, so here's the next step. So I've sewn that straight line, and now I'm sticking it back in. I've switched feet, and you can see the next step is I'm going to, how do you like my pin cushion? The next step is I'm going to open this up and sew first this side. I'm going to sew this side down, and then put it in the other direction and sew the other side down. And then I'll bring you back. We'll take a look at how successful I was. All right, I'll bring you back. Okay, that worked out pretty well. I think I've got some fairly parallel lines here, and I think the sewing machine is set up pretty well, and I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to do another one over here to get some practice. Maybe I'll draw a curve on that one, so that because there's lots of curvature in the two pieces I want to join, you know, for the dash. So yeah, I'd be absolutely pleased if the seam looked this good on the actual part. So I'm gonna get in a little bit more practice, and I'll bring you back. Okay, so I've almost completed this seam. Again, the two correct faces are together, and I was a little afraid of puckering, so I actually started from the middle and worked this way, and then went from the middle and I'm working this way. And you can see I'm coming up to the difficult part. I have to make this edge and this edge come together as I sew. And so this is the hard part. You can see it is possible. I got this side already done. Hopefully it doesn't look too amateurish, but I won't know until I get it the French seam completed. So just wanted to bring you back and show you the progress I'm making, and I just have to take it like a couple stitches at a time, hold the two faces together, and yeah, so I'll bring you back. Okay, so that's both sides done. So now I'm going to switch the foot over and set myself up to sew these into the open position. And then, yeah, I'll bring you back when I've got those sewn. We'll see what kind of a mess I've made. Okay. All right. That doesn't look too bad to me. Now, whether it fits and contours well to the dash, that might be the next step. But I don't know if you're getting that. I don't think that looks too bad. I half thought last minute it might look pretty cool with a contrasting color thread, but my sewing ability in doubt, I thought maybe let's not pull attention to the sewing. All right, well, let me put the sewing machine off the table, and I'll bring the dash out and I'll kind of lay this out and see how that looks. I'll bring it back. Okay, so this is what it's looking like so far. It's going very well. Better than I had actually expected. I'm just using contact cement, and I'm basically just gluing up the seam, and then right there I'm still following my little tape that's going to get buried in there, but I think it's allowing me to make a fair curve. So I'm going, I don't know, 8 inches at a time, waiting for that to tack up, and then I'm rolling the seam in place on top of this tape guide that I have, and I think it's looking pretty good. Again, so this is just, you know, the seam has been taped, and then tomorrow I will grab this fabric and stretch it taut, and I think it's going to look really good. This is going a little bit too easy for my past experience with this TVR. So far so good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Looks professional enough in my opinion. And I'm almost ready to roll this next section into place, so I'll bring it back. Okay, so this project continues to go well. I spent the morning using contact cement and gluing a section of the foam and a section of the vinyl, like I'm doing right here. I've got a section of the fiberglass and the vinyl that I'm waiting for the contact cement to set up, and then I'm gonna pull this taut and glue the edge over. That's what I've done here. So this is all glued down, and I think it looks pretty good. Actually, it exceeds my expectations. I didn't think it would look quite this good. Anyway, got some wrinkles here that I'm still trying to work out. And of course, the dash is going to be up here, so you're not going to see a lot of this anyway, but I'm going to try and make it look nice. So I'm just kind of going around. I sprayed this surface and pulled it tight and worked air bubbles and stretched, and that's looking pretty good. And yeah, I'm just taking little bits at a time. So wanted to show you where I'm at. I'll probably bring you back after I've glued these edges over, done a little trimming, and glued all these edges over. So, but yeah, very pleased. You know, this is all going to be pulled taut and glued over. As you know, this this goes against the inside, so you won't be seeing that either. But very pleased how this project is going, and I'll bring you back when I think probably when I've got all the vinyl fully adhered. So I'll bring you back later. All right, looking pretty good. Got the edges glued down. Pretty pleased with that. For someone that doesn't have any upholstery experience, I am very happy with the way that turned out. So the next step is an earlier clip I opened these up, and now I'm going to install these guys. So yeah. Time to get the heater working. I'll bring you back. Okay, so those 3D printed funnels are installed. That wasn't too big a deal. And I think they look pretty good. So from an earlier clip, you know that I bought these Mazda Miata vents that now slide in them. So yeah, looks pretty good. I guess now I have to glue in the bases. So let me look into that. I'll bring it back. Okay, so I've got those bases siliconed in. I don't know if you can actually see. Yeah, that's a little better, right? So I've got those 3 bases siliconed in. And that one's probably not going to focus. And then I've got the 3rd one over there. Not too bad. So those are just siliconed in, and I'm crossing my fingers that that'll be enough. The 3D print had a pretty aggressive pattern on the bottom, and so I'm thinking that might be okay. I'm probably going to give those a couple of days to dry. It's going to be real fun trying to get the hose connected on those, but but we'll see. And then yeah, so that's another aspect of the dash. And unrelated to the dash, I finally got the P-clamps for the wiring attached, in case any of you are worried about it. I just used a riv nut in both locations. So yeah, that's the next step. I'll bring you back when I have something to show you. Okay, so I wanted to pass along 2 little things about this project that I hadn't mentioned so far. The first one was I was reminded due to a conversation I was having on one of the TVR Facebook groups. And I was reminded that I should mention that the thread that I used was from a fabric store, and it was specifically labeled as for upholstery, and that it also had a UV protection. So I thought that might be a nice detail to pass along. And then I wanted to explain a little bit this patchwork pattern that I made. And so one of the things I do is, it's obviously made from a sheet of paper here. There's the split line there, and then another one here. But what are all these other little tape marks? And those are me folding the paper a bit and cutting a diamond into it. And then when I place the paper, before it's before I shape it and everything, I put a piece of tape on it, and then so the tape comes through and tapes the paper to the vinyl to keep it from moving. And then so I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but I had a bunch of places where the tape was taped through and touching the foam. And then I knew that the paper wasn't shifting around as I precision cut it along this front and back edge. So you might, if you're gonna ever do any patterning, you know, just cutting some holes in it and then taping it to the surface you're trying to make a pattern of has always worked for me. So with that being said, let me prep for the next clip and I'll bring you back. Okay, so I've got this dash just kind of pre-positioned here, and I wanted to point out that as expected, those two like little moon-shaped cutouts are related to the windshield wipers. I was pretty sure that was going to be the case. Couldn't remember, and I'm only thinking about documenting it in this video now. For mounting, I don't remember what I showed you or what I didn't. If you peel this rubber back, I've got two mounting bolts here, and then there's another one in each door. And so I got to line some stuff up, but I also want to kind of pre-position so I can cut the new vent tubing to the right length. So I might try and stick some screws in there, get it kind of pre-positioned, or maybe even, I don't know. I get it close, and then I'm hoping I can see through the side down here on what length those hoses need to be and how aligned they actually are. I'm hoping they're aligned pretty well. But all those positions were set by the factory in the holes in the top and the holes in that distribution heater fiberglass area. So yeah, so I'll bring you back when I've got something else to show you. Thanks. Okay, so I'm bringing you back a little sooner than I had expected. Having a little issues, but these are the screws I'm using for the connecting the upper dash. They're, let's see, 10/32. I'm using 1-inch long, nice long screws. These are called, here in the US at least, truss machine screws. They're stainless steel. It kind of means that they're kind of a larger diameter, less tall, button head, and these are the flathead, just like the factory used. So there's 2 in the middle and then 2 on either end. Maybe I don't think I'm forgetting another one, but I think it's held on by 4. What I'm finding is that this hose I had intended to connect the heater plenum up to the dash pots vents is probably going to be too stiff. I thought they would align better than that. I guess I should have taken a better look at it before I took it apart. My memory has changed over the last couple months. My first thought was I was going to put 2 screws in the middle, get those on. So I've got, the front dash pulled back. I can kind of see a little bit. But it was really difficult. It's really difficult. It's going to be a pain in the ass. That metal bracket that's in the middle, that needs to snake behind the windshield wiper rod. And didn't remember that, but I thought I'd mention it in case you're doing this. So I was having difficulty getting any traction there. So I've decided to try and put the screws in on the sides. I've got both sides in with a big washer and nut. And then I'm hoping that'll help try and align a little bit. Oh, I don't know what you're gonna be able to see, what's gonna be focused. These are the glued in lower funnels that I made for the plenum, and I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go with a cheaper hose that can flex a lot further. Yeah, you can see, so that's the middle one. That one probably aligns. I don't think I can get enough bend on this guy to attach. Oh, you can maybe see it a little bit behind. This is the glove box. You know what? maybe I should remove this glove box. I think that's gonna give me a ton more space. Okay, all right, you heard it here first. Came up with a better idea. Anyway, so with the glove box off, I might be able to get better access to those two center screws. So I like this idea. I'll bring it back. Okay, so here's the new hose, and you can see it. This is really stiff, and this has got quite a really nice flexibility. So this is the hose I'm going to use, and I'm going to be working through the glove box, through the little side panels. I'll figure out what length to cut these, and I'll bring you over there when I'm getting ready to try and shove one in. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. You can see I've got actually two installed. I don't know if you can see the center one back there, but this one was easier to reach into. Just cut a couple of pieces of tube to length and slide them on my 3D printed flanges. Oh, let's see if this is gonna work. Yeah. Okay, so there's the top and then the bottom. Looks pretty good. Can I kind of get around the corner there? You can see the middle one. Anyway, I still have the driver's side to do, but I expect that to go pretty well. And yeah, so I'm gonna install this glove box. I've got one little screw here, flat blade, that I have to get in with a tiny little screwdriver from this back corner, and the same with this guy, back corner. And then the top hole here is captured by this guy right here. So that one's probably gonna be tough to tighten. But let me go ahead and install that, and then I got one more thing to do on this side. Okay, so I got the glove box all installed, as you can see. And so it was a couple of small screws in this corner and this corner, and then this one goes all the way through. So I've got this assembled, and I've got the side trim piece on with the new illumination. And yeah, so let me, I need to do the same on the other side, and I'll bring it right back. Okay, and then there is the driver's side, and it's got the little rheostat in there that controls the LED illumination on the switches. And I'm getting close on this one. I'll bring it back when I got something else done. All right, last clip for the dash recover. Sorry I had to make this into two parts. It's looking pretty good. I've got it all put back together. Got the steering wheel back on, and the steering shaft reinstalled, and you know the electrical's done. It's looking really good. I'm so pleased. Cleaned it up a little bit for this last clip. Yeah. So here's what it looks like. Got these new vents installed, and they can be adjustable. From a previous clip, you know, I've got them hooked up. God, it looks so good. You can probably see in this clip I'm working on the headliner. I'll give you a little sneak peek. That's looking pretty good. That'll be the next video. Yeah, so hope you're liking that. Hope you're liking the videos. So that's the last clip for the dash recover. And I hope you learned something, because I know I did. That was a lot of work. Looks really good. I'm very pleased how that turned out. So thanks for watching Demo Garage, and I'll bring you back on another video. Bye.